What's up, friends? It is Wheelie Time. Well, let me give you a little bit of context. So, quite some time ago, my friend G-Long and I recorded a agent versus DIY video, which will be coming out eventually. It's just taking a long time to produce it, and I needed to finish up a little bit of data at the end, so you haven't seen it yet. Originally, this wheelie video was going to be part of it, but I decided to split it off after that other video became over an hour long. So, here we have myself alone trying to do wheelies on the agent and on my DIY mountain board. I think it's quite entertaining, so hopefully you enjoy. So we're here in the park. I think this part of the video is going to be at the end of the DIY versus agent video. And I'm here by myself to see if there's any way that I can do a wheelie on this thing. Now, I'm not that good at wheelies to begin with. I will admit that outright. However, this board has a ton of power, and I feel like it's worth trying at least. And we're gonna see how this goes. But there's a couple ways to do a wheelie, at least when it comes to like bikes. This is different because I only have power. If I try to brake boost wheelie, it's just gonna come straight back down. So I'm really at the mercy of power and then balancing. And the difficult part about doing the balance part is even if I get all the way up in the air, like a good bit for a wheelie, the battery is so heavy that it really just wants to drive it back into the ground. So you have to compensate for the weight of the whole battery by giving it enough power to keep you in the air, and then also balance enough that you stay in the air. And I don't know anyone personally in real life in San Diego that can teach me that. So I'm here on my own. In any case, I'm gonna just cruise around for a little bit and see if I can figure out the throttle enough to start trying to do a wheelie. And the goal here being that I'm gonna compare this to my DIY board and see if I can do it on that as well. That one is a lot lighter. If you saw the weights at the beginning of this video, you'll know the difference. But yeah, we're gonna see if I can wheelie this 57 pounds here in the park. I don't know if the grass here is going to help me or not. It does give you more resistance when you're rolling, so it'll feel a lot different than like a hard ground wheelie, but I figure if I fall down, the grass will be softer. And yeah, I'm not wearing any elbow pads or anything because I don't really feel like I need it right now. But I do want to get some elbow pads, probably some of these Liat ones that have worked really well for my knees. So enough yapping, let's get going on the wheelies. Not bad. It's really tough modulating the power to the right spot to keep it up. So I can like pop it a little bit. It's the keeping it up part that's tough. Because I don't want to overpower and flip over backwards, you know? Well, we're actually somewhat getting there. I think I've gotten like 3 feet or so now. I think for me, what denotes it as like a real wheelie is like 2 seconds of the front tires in the air. And I want to see like 6 feet probably. Something that's like unmistakable, like, oh wow, that was an actual wheelie. One thing I'm noticing is you really have to be quite in the right spot on throttle band. And also I will mention, if you're not in the riot throttle setting on the remote, this board is a lot less lively. And I've been riding this board in riot mode the entire time I've had it. So I'm used to like the throttle being right at the bottom. And I didn't know until just a couple minutes ago that that's because of the riot throttle setting. So it's interesting that it changes it that much, but that's what I'm trying it in right now. I could try it in like the regular throttle instead, but that puts the power like halfway through the throttle range. So I don't think that that's better. And one last thing, I should have said this at the beginning, but we did, I think it was 5.9 miles on the trail with this board and my DIY. And this got back to the house at 5 bars. So basically full battery still. I've gone 0.9 miles in this trip so far, and we're down 1 bar. So not bad range. You might think like 18S4P is not going to be a ton of range, but the reality is when you're off-road, you're going a lot slower, and you're probably not going to be full throttling it all the time. So it's probably a little more efficient than riding at 30 on road for an extended period of time. There's just severe balance thing going on here. I'm trying to figure out how to manage it. It's like, oh, there we go. Gotta get back a little bit more. I really wonder if this is easier on concrete or grass. Try and get back. Pop. That was like a second, maybe. There have been worse. Let's see if I can do it from a standstill. Oh, that was almost cool. It's actually easier from a standstill because you can set your balance from the start. It's still really hard though. Ah, man, this is tiring out my legs. Ideally, you wouldn't need to use a ton of leg on this, but because it's so heavy, I have to pop it a lot to get it started. Pop! Oh, that was cool. I'm like almost there. It's just sending it enough. That's the hard part. That was decent. I think it really is a lot harder to do it moving. So you gotta pop on more power than you're already using and balance at the same time. And I think, honestly, oh man, my legs are getting there. Both of these are gonna be tougher on my DIY because the throttle's not as responsive. This one I have really confident grip on exactly where the throttle starts, so I've been able to get into it a little bit easier, I think. Like that was pretty good. The power is definitely there. I know Dylan Bell could do this every day. Every day, no problem. Dylan, teach me your ways. Maybe I'll hit him up. Give me some wheelie advice. He's probably just gonna say, send it. Whoa! That one almost went over. The nice thing about doing a wheelie on here is to bring it back down, all you have to do is let off the throttle. Whew. All right, well, let's give it 10 attempts, and we'll see where I'm at after 10. If I can't do it in 10, I'll just rate it now, and then we'll compare it to my DIY board after. I think it'd be interesting to actually compare this with the big Explorer wheels to doing it with the regular 2-inch wheels, because these are definitely way heavier. All right, we're gonna see if I can get anything cool on this camera angle. 10 attempts. Hopefully the camera will stay on. We're gonna do 5 from a start. So 0, and then we'll do 5 rolling. Let's see it. All right, we got like 1 second. Pop. That was like half a second. That was bad. 2. All right, here's 3. Pop. And that is what I was talking about. Here's 3. Pop. And that is what I was talking about. If you over throttle and go straight over the back of the board. Hey, we got the shot though. I'll take it. All right, so that was attempt 6. True sending it though. I hope I got that on both cameras because that would be hilarious, but I don't think I did. All right. I guess I'll count that as 4 on the first one. So we'll do 1 extra since that was kind of a fail. And pop! Again, just like 1 second. All right, let's do 5 rolling. We'll do it like this speed. 1, that was horrible. 2, again, horrible. I'm not even gonna count that. Try again. Count that as 2. 3-ish. 3.5. 4. And 5. Not terrible. Some of them were, but if anything, this is just proving that wheeling is hard. I probably just need more practice. But there's our 5 and 5. In terms of wheelie ability, I feel like it would be unfair to give this too high of a score because the Mach 1, for example, is perfectly capable of doing wheelies and it's much, much lighter. And in my mind, lighter board, especially a more distributed weight rather than all of the weight like in the center, it's probably going to be easier. So I think for me, you know what? I haven't recorded the whole video yet, so we'll split the score. Half will be on from a standstill wheelie and half will be on rolling. And I think for from a standstill, I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10. And then rolling, I think I'll give it like 6 because the throttle is good, but I think the weight is really holding it back on the rolling because you have to do such a balancing act between throttle and weight distribution. So yeah, not bad. This board is 100% capable of it. I just need more skills. So Joel, if you want someone else to show off wheelies, Dylan's probably your guy, but I tried my best. In case you're wondering, I've been trying to do some wheelies on asphalt for a little bit just to see if it was harder or easier. It feels about the same, and if anything, the grass is a little bit more forgiving because of the extra resistance. and I think that was a good thing. The fall that I took there from going over center would have been more painful on concrete or asphalt as well, so I'll take it. When Geelong does his, I think he's going to anyway, we'll make sure he does it on grass as well, so that it's a fair comparison. All right, well, we're out here on the DIY. It's been a long time since I recorded those clips on the Agent, but I still remember pretty well what it was like to do the wheelies on it. So today we're gonna try and compare and see if I think this one is easier than the Agent or not. And in the first couple minutes of messing around, I think it's gonna be a little bit easier, purely from a weight perspective. And I'll put the two weights of these boards on screen right now, but yeah, this one is quite a bit lighter, so that makes a big difference when it comes to keeping the front up, because it means that I don't have to lean back as far and I don't have to use quite as much power, or some combination of the two. So while this is still quite difficult for me, I've been able to pop the front up fairly easily. And after a couple more minutes here, I'll go ahead and do my 10 attempts and see which I think is easier. I think this one might be a little bit easier to accidentally flip over on, so I gotta be careful about that. But the lighter battery definitely making a big difference on ease of popping the front up. So I'm gonna practice for a couple more minutes and then we'll get into it. This grass is pretty thick, so that makes it a little more challenging, but the board has plenty of power. It's just about getting that balance right. And not overpowering it, you know. And this board's power curve is a lot different than the Agent. It's more toned down. So I have to get further into the throttle to pull the front up. But I think that's okay. It just makes it different. All right, let me try from standstill. Whew, man, that's difficult. Yeah, the front of this board is pretty hard to pull up. All right, let's go for this. We're gonna do the standing attempts first, I think, because I think they're harder. And then we'll do the moving ones. Ready? One. Terrible. Couldn't keep it up. 2. Almost need a little more throttle. 3. 4. That was better. Oh, I'm not counting that. That was so bad. There's so much more throttle in here, I'm just kind of scared to use it. 5. Close. I'm not counting that, I didn't get it up. 6. That was a good half second or so. All right, from 0. Oh, that hurt my knee. 7. Okay attempt, not perfect, but not terrible. More throttle. All right. 9. All right, let's try 10 here. Oh, that was pretty good, honestly, for me. There's your 10th. Yeah, the point of this comparison, if you can really argue that there's much of a point, was for me to figure out if it was easier to attempt doing wheelies on this versus the Agent. And right now, I think the answer is yes. I really think this probably needs a little bit more punch in the remote, a little more throttle lower down in the curve for me to have an easy time. But as far as my wheelies go, the 10th one there was pretty much as close to the Agent as I think I've gotten. So I'm gonna count that as a success for the standing. So we're gonna roll through and do some of the in motion ones, and we'll see what I can do there. All right, I don't really have a specific speed here that I'm trying to target, but I'm gonna try and do some rolling ones here. And again, it's 10 attempts. Point being of comparison, not how bad my wheelies are. So if you want to comment about how bad they are, feel free, but I don't really care. I know they're not good, so we're just gonna do what I can. I'll do a run up from the thick grass back there, and then we'll try and hit the wheelie in the middle here. Okay on attempt 1. Better on attempt 2. Not enough throttle on attempt 3, but not too bad. That was pretty good. Attempt 4. 5, not enough throttle. Oh, too much throttle on 6, but I was close to the power band that I need to be in. Not enough throttle again. 8. No, I'll call that a 7. I was okay. It's hard to hit the consistent throttle spot that I need. Oop. Mistimed the throttle versus the pop. Call it 8. 9. That was pretty good, but not a very high wheelie. We'll come back around for 10. All right, back up and approach. Last one. Okay, we're not counting that. That was so bad. That was as bad as attempt 1. All right, here's attempt 10. Again, terrible. So I would say, honestly, we got like 2 good ones in there maybe. They probably didn't look very impressive from the camera side, but I definitely got air for like 1 second on my best one. So I'm gonna count that as an okay attempt. We did our 10 attempts plus a few scuffed ones. And I don't remember what I rated the Agent out of 10 on the wheelies, but I'm gonna say that this will be 1 point higher. So if the Agent was a 6, this would be a 7. If it was a 7, this will be an 8. It's not easy at all. There's a lot of weight up here still, even though it's lighter than the Agent. And again, I'm not very good at it. So you're getting the perspective of someone who's trying to do this for the first time. And yeah, take it with a grain of salt. But there's your comparison between the wheelies on the DIY board and the Agent. Geelong was not able to record the rest of this video with me. That was actually like 6 months ago, to be honest. But I'm gonna record a final thoughts and a final score breakdown in the studio. So that's the clip you'll see next. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the studio.
can't see me, but I am in the studio, and we're here to talk about the scores. Here are the scores for the MBS Agent and the DIY board. Now, these really only differ by a little bit, but I think that they are fairly equivalent when it comes to doing wheelies. The difference really comes in how hard it is, and I guess a bit of how good you are at it. For me, it was really challenging to actually get these to pop up with how much weight they're carrying, and there's definitely ways around that by 1, putting a smaller battery on, or 2, just getting more experience. So I'm sure I could learn how to do these better over time, but this is how the scores are for now. You'll see they're slightly different than what I said earlier because I adjusted them a little bit after thinking about it and after riding both boards. I think these are an accurate representation of each, and I think the downside on the DIY board for the standstill is that I just need to tune my throttle a bit more. There's not enough punch at the low end for me to get the results that I got on the Agent, and conversely, it's hard to figure out exactly how much punch I'm giving it while rolling on the Agent because there's so much power. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this sort of unique video from me. I've got a really cool video coming out with the above DIY and Agent that you can see on screen, riding on the trail that you can see on screen. I'm pretty excited for it, but it's going to take a little bit more time to produce, so hopefully you guys get subscribed for that. And for now, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, keep on riding, and peace out.